ANT, amazing name. Thank you for the great content and insights. Here's my question from a purely hypertrophic standpoint. Is the stiff-legged deadlift preferable in comparison, I don't know why I read that weird, in comparison to plain old deadlift when it comes to full glutes and hamstrings development? When would a person truly purely interested in hypertrophy choose the deadlift over SLD? Well, so for hamstrings, absolutely. For glutes, that's not clear to me at all. Glutes often respond to very high force movements. You can deadlift more than you can stiff-legged deadlift. The hamstrings are, in a properly done stiff-legged deadlift, the hamstrings are every time the limiting factor, not the glutes. So again, the glutes aren't really being stimulated, although in a regular deadlift, the glutes can absolutely be a limiting factor. And all you have to do is change the deadlift into something in which the glutes are really for sure the limiting factor, which is the best way to do that is a deficit sumo stiff-legged deadlift, or sorry, deficit sumo deadlift. And then all of a sudden it's a fucking unbelievable glute exercise, and then you're good to go. The regular conventional deadlift is like, honestly, your spinal erectors in almost all people is a limiting factor. Like if you had spinal erectors that simply wouldn't quit, many people who currently deadlift 200 to 300 pounds would instantly be able to deadlift like 400 or 500 pounds. Like it's that big of a limiting factor, which is why people say like deadlifts for back. Like, yeah, back is your limiting factor on deadlifts almost all the time. But if you do something like sumo deficits, yeah, your glutes are a limiting factor, and then you're well on your way. So glutes, no. Hamstrings, yeah, totally. Training regular deadlift for hamstrings is like really kind of dumb, and nothing anyone does in an advanced level or your intermediate.
Yeah, and just to play devil's advocate here a little bit for discussion purposes, I think when you have somebody who's maybe like a beginner and they're going from beginner to intermediate, you could probably look at the regular deadlift and just say, well, it's just such a raw stimulus magnitude exercise. You're just getting overall growth everywhere. So in terms of economy of time, deadlift might be a good choice because your hams get big, your glutes get big, your quads get big, your back gets big. Like, okay, that's a pretty great thing for a beginner. But everything's great for a beginner. So at that point, we're kind of splitting hairs. So I think once we're talking about the intermediate athlete, I think everything that Dr. Mike says completely applies. Because then at that point, you have to be more specific in your body part training.
Yep. Inti Castro.
Inti, like IN.